The city of Oceanside is a vibrant coastal community, home to beautiful beaches, lakes, lagoons, and parks. From the proper management of all waste streams to the disposal of fats, oils, and grease and stormwater compliance, this video will explain all the best management practices, or BMPs, restaurants and food service facilities must follow to comply with federal, state, and local requirements. Let's follow along as our city inspector examines a restaurant to determine compliance and best practices. Let's begin at the front of your business. In accordance with California state laws, Oceanside's 2020 Zero Waste Plan and Chapter 13 of City Code, businesses are required to have adequate landfill, recycling, and food scrap services, which are provided by Waste Management. As required by state law, food scraps and food soiled paper will need to go into a separate bin, which is brown. Businesses must have this service, as well as recycling and landfill services. Cost-saving opportunities exist for businesses that encourage recycling. Plus, it benefits the environment. Restaurants are also required to have food scraps, recycling, and landfill containers available for both customers and employees in the front and back of your restaurant. These containers should be clearly labeled and offer signage so customers and staff know what goes into each. For food scraps and recycling, be sure to use only clear plastic liners if needed. Your indoor-outdoor eating areas need to be kept clean as well. All waste receptacles must be maintained and the areas frequently sanitized and cleaned using contained or dry methods, such as sweeping or using absorbent materials like rags or paper towels to dispose of grease spills. No wash water is allowed to run off into any storm drain. When spills happen, employees must wipe up as much as possible before mopping to prevent fats, oils, and grease, or fog, from entering our sewer system and city storm drains. Speaking of fog, let's move into the kitchen. Fog enters our sewage system carried by wastewater from washing dishes, cleaning equipment, and mopping floors. As grease cools, it hardens, coating the inside of sewer pipes until the pipes are blocked. This blockage causes wastewater to overflow back into your facility or spill from the sewer into our streets, which creates risks to public health and our waterways. To prevent these sewer overflows and avoid excessive costs, including fines, and to ensure compliance with all environmental requirements, restaurants are required to follow BMPs in the proper disposal of all kinds of waste. Number 1. All commercial kitchens are required to have a grease control device installed and serviced every 3 months, or more frequently if needed. Services must be documented on the pump-out log sheet. Manifests must be made available upon request. Number 2. Employees should be made aware of all waste sorting stations, signage, as well as all drains and floor drains in the kitchen. Drain screens must be installed on all drainage pipes in food preparation areas so that food does not cause interceptor maintenance issues. Screens should be checked and cleaned regularly, and annual or biannual sewer drain cleaning should be scheduled with plumbing services. Number 3. All waste cooking oil must be collected and stored properly in separate containers, which must be maintained to ensure they don't leak and develop grease solids buildup. If oil receptacles are stored outside, they must be covered with a locking lid and have secondary containment to prevent unintended spills to the storm drain. Additionally, licensed haulers must be used to dispose of waste cooking oil. Number 4. All food waste and food soiled paper is required to go into the food scraps bin. It is best to empty your food scraps when the bin is half full to avoid becoming too heavy and to prevent excessive odors. Number 5. Staff are required to wipe and scrape excess grease from pans and dishes into the food scrap container before washing. Grease is never allowed to be washed into the sink or drain. Employees should use the can it and cool it method for easy disposal of excess hot cooking oil produced when cooking. Number 6. Dry methods. brooms, rags, or paper towels should be used to dispose of fog spills. Number 7. Kitchen exhaust filters are required to be cleaned and in good operating condition. Exhaust filters and range hoods should be cleaned a minimum of twice per year according to local and state fire code. Employees must be trained at the beginning of their term of employment and each calendar year thereafter on these environmental compliance BMPs. Training must be documented on a log sheet with the date of the training, and this log should be provided to an inspector upon request. Before we leave the kitchen, let's talk about food donation. State law requires food service facilities and restaurants identified by the law as Tier 1 or Tier 2 to reduce wasted food and donate excess edible food to food recovery organizations or services through a signed agreement or form. Oceanside's Food Waste Tracking Guide, 10 Steps to Food Recovery Program Guide, and Sample Food Recovery Partnership Form are all great resources for helping to identify what excess edible food is available for donation. These food service facilities must maintain records of food donations and keep these receipts on site at all times for inspection. Now let's move to the back of your business. Food scraps, recycling, landfill containers, and yellow grease tallow bins should be stored in an enclosure. Cardboard boxes should be broken down before being placed in the recycling container. Materials in the recycling and food scraps containers should be either inside clear plastic liners or freely placed into the bins. The lids of each container should be completely closed and locked. This includes your yellow grease bin for used cooking oil. The enclosure should be cleaned regularly using dry methods and kept free of debris. Businesses can request an annual cleaning of the landfill, recycling, and food scraps bins through Waste Management and can arrange for graffiti removal free of charge. Loading and unloading areas and drive-thrus must be kept clean and free of trash, spills, and stains. Contained and dry cleaning methods must be used to prevent illegal discharges into storm drains. This can include sweeping, brushing, or steam cleaning. Finally, landscaping and common areas must be maintained to prevent irrigation runoff and erosion. To prevent irrigation runoff, landscapers should check irrigation systems for broken lines or sprinkler heads and replace if necessary. Sprinklers must be adjusted to prevent overspray onto sidewalks and streets. Slopes must be covered with plants or mulch to prevent erosion. Lastly, use of pesticides, fertilizer, and other chemicals should be minimized and safely stored. Please visit the City of Oceanside's website or call to request training materials and educational posters for your facility. Follow these BMPs to ensure your establishment's compliance with local ordinances and state regulations and promote your business as mindful of the community and environment. Working together, we can protect Oceanside's natural resources and keep your facility running smoothly.